5:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're making a delicious meal tonight. We are making sourdough pizza. I have started baking a special crust I made for Naomi. And I have started browning the ground beef, which you haven't missed much. Okay, so all of the recipes from tonight are inside my cookbook. So if you haven't bought this yet, the link is down below. It's only $18, and you click and pay with your form of payment, and I ship it right to you. So we're going to be making sourdough pizza crust tonight, but also there is a soaked pizza crust recipe inside my cookbook. So if you're not comfortable with sourdough quite yet, this is another way to make a properly prepared pizza dough that your family will love. So anyway, check the link down in the description box for all the information on that. Okay, so I'm just browning up the crust here. Not crust, sorry. Browning up the meat. Wow, my brain is fried. It is a Tuesday. So, this is ground beef, but you could use any sort of meat that you could possibly want. But I'm just using ground beef because that's what I had that was quick to thaw out, and using the topping. You could use chicken or ground pork or any of those things. So since this is almost cooked and it's grass-fed beef, I'm just going to shut the burner off because this cast iron pot's going to stay warm for a while and it'll finish cooking it while it sits. Okay, so the next step is to make some homemade pizza sauce. I have mentioned before that I use Azure Standard's tomato powder to save a ton of money on tomato products. So I do have a video up here if you're interested in that. I think it's about a 4-minute video. Hey Samantha, saw what you were making, so fed my sourdough starter for supper tomorrow. Sounds so good. Yes, it is so good. So if you missed the video though on the tomato powder from Azure Standard, it's only 4 minutes long, and I do a direct price comparison to non-organic tomato products from Walmart. So it's a huge savings. So we're going to go ahead and take 2 cups of water and half of a cup of this tomato powder. I'm just going to get myself a whisk here. And that's going to make about 2.5 cups of tomato sauce. And as I've stated before, this takes a few minutes to thicken, so we're not going to judge it quite yet here. Okay, so while that's thickening, I'm going to go ahead and turn this burner over medium heat. And we're going to add in the seasonings, okay? So to season our homemade, what you need? To season the homemade pizza sauce, we're going to be using seasonings I bought from Azure Standard. You could also use a Italian seasoning if you're in a rush. But we're just going to get out some onion powder here. And this is actually onion, like chopped onion chunks. I accidentally ordered this from Azure Standard one month, so I'm just going to do a teaspoon of them into there. If you have onion powder, go ahead and do 1 teaspoon as well. Okay, garlic granules, same thing here, 1 teaspoon. Okay, the lid back on. All right, next ingredient is oregano. Again, another teaspoon. This is pretty boring. If you're going to use Italian seasoning, you still are going to want to add the garlic granules and the onion flakes because you need more flavor than just Italian seasoning. All right, this is basil from my dad's garden. So we're going to do a good teaspoon of that. And then we're going to do rosemary. Rosemary isn't an absolute need, but it does add a nice undertone flavor. So I'm just going to estimate on this one. We're going to go about 1/2 teaspoon. And then salt. 1/2 teaspoon of healthy salt. So pink Himalayan salt, Celtic sea salt. You need salt. And we're just going to give it a good whisk. And I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll bring you in on it, but this is already thickened in just that amount of time. And just in case you're wondering, yes, the spaghetti sauce recipe could be made up in bulk and canned, because tomato products you can water bath can. So you could have the tomato sauce, pizza sauce combo in like little pint-sized jars in your pantry. They're ready to go. You guys can see that. It's nice and thick. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat off now because this is just going to go on a pizza. So that's going to go to the side. I'm going to finish mashing up over here the ground beef. If you guys watched my last Azure haul, I had bought some ground beef from Azure Standard. Super happy with that. A lot of my grass-fed local producers weren't just selling ground beef this time around. You had to buy a quarter of a cow, a half of a cow. And I really don't want to do that because we're supposed to be getting our hog at the end of this week. And so I did not want to be filling up my freezer with with beef when pork is coming. So there we go. I'm just going to lightly sprinkle this with salt, also for flavor. There we go. Give it a good stir. That was probably about a teaspoon of salt to 1 pound of ground beef. Okay, so I'll take you guys back this way. Like I said, I already have 2 crusts inside the oven, but I saved a crust to be able to show you guys how it presses out. But first, what I wanted to mention, if you guys watched the last Azure Standard haul, you'll know I bought like mushrooms in bulk. So what I do is I take that fancy chopper, you guys have seen it in some of my other videos, and I chop up all the mushrooms and I freeze them, because then I just break this up and these are ready to go right on the pizza. And same thing with bell peppers. Buy them in bulk and chop them up and freeze them. And it's a quick pizza. Because, Papa Murphy's is really, really easy, but the ingredients aren't as wholesome as what you can make from scratch. So I'm going to go behind me, grab another pan, and we're going to get to go. Actually, I have to get this one out first. Hang on. This one is the one for baby girl. Show you. So this recipe is also in my cookbook. This one is known as a fathead pizza crust. So this is 100% grain-free pizza crust. And I'm going to top it just like the rest of the pizzas, but this is grain-free. If you use cheddar cheese in my recipe instead of the mozzarella, it is gaps. So that's cool, full gaps on that last stage. So I'm going to go set this behind me, and we'll get going on rolling out the other dough here. Sure, just 1 second. Someone's asking for a cup. Here you go. All right, so I'm going to angle the camera down, and I'll show you guys how we take the sourdough crust in. Well, gee whiz, I have to get the other crust out. Just a second. Not a bad thing. Okay, so I'm going to go grab the dough. So I have a, what is this, a Bosch? Yeah, Bosch mixer, and I just let the dough in here to rise. I put the lid on, covered it with a towel, and then what I ended up doing was dividing it into 3s. These are, I believe, 14-inch stainless steel pizza pans, and I'm just going to coat them in some lard. You could use coconut oil, you could use butter. As long as it's a semi-solid, totally cool. That's what we're looking for. Because semi-solids stay stable at high temperatures, which we're going to be baking at here. All right, so there it is, well greased. And I'm just going to grab this. So this pizza dough, my specific starter that I sell to you guys down in the description box, his name is Frank, and he will double anything in size in like 4 to 5 hours. So this has already been sitting since this morning. It is ready to go. I've done nothing else other than mix the dough as it calls for in my cookbook, and then let it sit. Let it sit for about 5 hours in this case, because I know my sourdough starter. And so the dough doubled in size, and now we're just pressing it in. I did leave lard on my hands because sometimes dough gets sticky as it's fermenting, and it's a lot easier to press dough out onto a pan if your hands are covered in some grease and some oil. Okay, so this one is ready to go on in. And then I'm going to go grab baby girls, and we'll put the sauce and such on it. Let's see, I need a pot holder because it's hot. Okay, let me go grab it. bring it on in here. Okay, I did hers on a pizza stone. I love pizza stones, but it wasn't a preference health-wise. The stainless steel is fine. But I just did it because it was in the stack of the pizza pans, and it was right in my way, and I figured I'd just use that one. And grab a spoon here. So next step is yummy sauce. So, oh man, it smells so good. If you skip the salt on the pizza sauce, people are going to notice. Our taste buds are so accustomed to unhealthy salt, but salt actually adds flavor to dishes, and so when you remove it, they don't taste the same. And in that case, if I forget the salt when I make a pizza, then all I do is I just sprinkle the top with a little bit of salt at the end, but it doesn't taste the same. Still tastes better than not having any salt. Okay, so there's hers. Now, she's obviously not going to eat Alice in one sitting, but I don't know about you guys as kids, but with this last little one, she likes to get into eating certain things for like 2 or 3 days and doesn't want anything else, and then all of a sudden she's sick of it. So this will last her a couple of days, hopefully. Last time I made her a smaller one, and it only lasted her for 2 meals because she ate it all. Okay, so the next ingredient is Parmesan cheese. Oh, sorry, not Parmesan, mozzarella. Hello. I bought a huge 6-pound block from Azure Standard this last Azure haul. And that's what I'm going to be doing. I had somebody grate it up for me, and then we just froze it. It's been a really, really nice day here. I was out in the greenhouse reseeding some of the seedlings that didn't come out inside my seeding trays. And the goats were outside running around and playing. It was just a nice, warm day. Very unseasonably warm, but I'll take it, I guess. I'm hoping that we're going to get some rain this weekend because we haven't had any. It's been really, really dry. Okay, so there you go. There's your Parmesan cheese. I'm going to go ahead and do the meat next. She's kind of picky with her meat chunks. With anything, even like chicken. It all has to be very, very, very small. For a while there, I was like, okay, like we're not gonna do the vegan thing. We're gonna eat meat. So, but I think it was just like a gag reflex there for a little while. So, there it is. That's perfect. Okay, and she loves green peppers, so we'll get her some of these. Here's a tip. If you do go to freeze your green peppers and your red peppers, let them sit out at room temperature for about 10-15 minutes. And then you just lightly tap the bag and they just break apart. Because otherwise, this is what you get, is a huge chunk. So let it sit on out and it'll work with you a little bit better. So all 4 pizzas are going to be exactly the same. Everybody gets a little bit of green peppers. Everybody gets a little bit of red peppers. And then we're going to put some mushrooms on top. And then I love what I affectionately call glitter. I love making food beautiful. So I'm going to actually sprinkle the top with a little bit of oregano. You could do basil, you could do parsley. Pretty food makes it taste better. That's why they show you food in advertisements, is because it looks pretty, it looks yummy and delicious. You want to eat it. So that's it. That one's totally done. So what's going to happen here is in a few minutes, I got to check these other crusts. And we actually end up putting this in underneath the broil instead of baking it, because you can broil a pizza in 4 minutes and it's done. So another really super, super fast meal. We've been doing a lot of fast meals lately. Spring is coming and it's a little crazy. So I think what I'm going to do is, while I wait for that oven to be open, I'm going to move this to the other counter and we'll do another pizza together. So this is one of the sourdoughs. We'll get out some nice sauce. Another really awesome thing with that fathead pizza dough recipe in my cookbook is that you can actually make it and just use it like breadsticks and then dip it in this stuff. Oh, so good. There it is. I don't like to be too skimpy on the sauce. I have gotten away from what my other friend was saying was lasagna pizza because I put so much sauce. I've gotten a little bit away from that. I started having my crusts get too soggy because I was putting so much sauce. So I've kind of reined myself in a little bit when it comes to that. I've also done like a 50-50 mix of mozzarella and like if you're going for the Papa Murphy's taste, if you do several different cheeses on the top, like mix it with mozzarella, Parmesan, and cheddar, it tastes a lot more like their pizza. Because if you look at the pizza when you order it from Papa Murphy's, it's like different cheeses mixed together. They're all different colors. It's not just mozzarella cheese. Okay, there we go. And again, some meat. This is going to get devoured no matter how big the meat chunks are. This is for the rest of the family. And the kids are just hungry. They don't care how big the ground beef chunks are. Although, if I put just one big burger in the middle, I guess there would probably be a little bit of disappointment. All right. So we are just rolling along here. A little bit more green pepper. Red pepper. And you can do onions too. It's just my husband's not a huge fan of onions. So I tend to leave them off the pizzas or only do certain pizzas with purple onion for the rest of us. But I'm all out of purple onion right now. So I was like, well, we are just going to hold off and it'll be delicious anyway. And once again, these are the chopped mushrooms. You guys can see how fast all these pizzas are coming together. And then with a 4-minute broil, I mean, dinner is done. It's just kind of crazy. Okay, so now we can't forget the little glitter. So we got oregano. There we go. And now it looks pretty. You guys see that? So pretty. Okay, it's going to go back over on the other counter. And let's check the oven real quick. Okay, the bottom one is done. So I'll put it here. I'm going to check the other one. Top one's done. So now, important notes here because I'm just about to broil one so I can walk you guys through what this looks like. So I'm going to move my rack in my oven all the way to the top, the very, very highest setting. I'm going to go ahead and press broil and select high. Okay, so now I'm going to go get a pizza and we're going to slide it in here. It's going to be baby girl's pizza. There we go. Now, very, very important. Now I'm going to set a timer for 4 minutes. Don't forget this because it gets done so fast. If you're making other pizzas, you're totally going to forget. So I'm just going to go ahead and set a 4-minute timer. If it starts smelling like smoke or burned pizza or something beforehand, your broiler might run a little bit high. So you might have to go less time, like 3 minutes instead of 4. But that's all there is to pizza, you guys. It's super easy. Another option to speed this meal up would be to make up some crusts and then just freeze them. Wrap this. Put it right into the freezer. And that way you're just adding toppings. That's it. And then broiling it for 4 minutes. So that is technically faster than ordering a Papa Murphy's pizza, driving to the Papa Murphy's location, picking it up, bringing it home, preheating your oven, and then baking it for 15 minutes. So this meal is technically faster than that. It's more nutrient dense. It's got more from scratch ingredients, and you know where all the ingredients came from. So that's it, you guys. You guys have a great night. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. I'm just going to check comments before I jump off. I think that's it. All right, you guys. I'll see you guys next week. I hope this inspires you to make pizza this week. And if it does, leave a comment down below and let me know. I'll see you guys in the next one.